CBCAC is a advocacy organization that aims to empower Chinese Americans living in the greater Chicagoland area. We partnered with the Loyola University School of Communication to look at displacement and gentrification for the Chinatown area. Although this area hasn't really gentrified right now, it has the potential to. A lot of different communities in Chicago and across in Chinatowns across the U.S., they've lost that sense of culture and identity. What's left behind is like maybe the Welcome to Chinatown gate or flagpoles of their ethnic flags, but the residents are no longer there, and so someone else is appropriating their own culture. I think the unique merge of the Chinese American identity for me is balancing and understanding the history to how I got here, but also understanding the history, the language, the culture, the traditions, while being an American living in the U.S. I think right now the most important thing is to understand what potentially development can look like and what it should look like. So I think one of the easiest examples would be just having a simple dialogue about franchises and maybe like Starbucks. So a lot of people have always complained about not having a Starbucks in Chinatown. But does that mean that Starbucks should actually come to Chinatown? If it's like a Chinese owner and comes in with this idea and then plasters Starbucks with Chinese words, does that mean that they lose character? Will Chinatown lose its character if there's a Starbucks in here because people are spending more money at the Starbucks versus their local bubble tea shop? And those are questions that we don't know, but we know that in Boston and New York and other cities, they've seen Starbucks come in and change how that community looks like. And I'm hoping that at the minimum, we start having these dialogues and maybe predict what kind of developments may bring other developments or other investments that are helpful for the community rather than harmful. We're not saying that gentrification, development, and any of those things are bad. We're just saying that if it's not for the people and it's not welcomed by the people, then it shouldn't necessarily happen. And so how do we convince the community to invest in certain things but maybe not invest in other things? Then that's kind of where we want to have a dialogue with the community that this is something that they should have ownership of and not necessarily elected officials or people who have money or developers deciding what to do about Chinatown.